Hey everyone, Wanderbot here, and welcome to Wayfinder Echoes. If the name sounds somewhat familiar, it's because I covered Wayfinder last year. It was an upcoming MMO that I was very excited for, but it launched with some severe server issues. And after kind of a rough launch, and then losing their publisher, they've relaunched the game as a not online only. It's not an MMO anymore. You can play with friends though, up to 4-player co-op. But it is no longer an MMO. They got rid of all microtransactions, and now it is a just like fully playable game start to finish. Admittedly, it's still in early access, and I'm not sure what content is missing, but what a way to salvage a game. Most other companies would have just like moved on or just abandoned it entirely, and to relaunch it like this is actually really exciting for me.
We lived in an age of wonders. We wove magic into steel and shaped the elements with our words. And yet, even in this golden age, there were stories of cities falling to darkness, of a force reaching from the shadows. We didn't believe them until it came for us. The beacons had always been a part of our world. We never knew who created them, or that someday they would return.
That's a big sword. Kinda silly to have a gateway that small if your sword's that big.
But we weren't defenseless. We must get to the beacon!
This is foul magic. Silo, clear a path.
On it! Horns, anger issues. Remind you of anyone?
Shut up and fight. There are too many. Make for the gate. We're through.
What now?
Now, Wingrave, we light the beacon. Somehow, these markings. I can do this. But I'll need some time.
Precursor. We have to buy her some time!
False one! This is vengeance for my people.
Miss!
I am sorry. No! Just a little longer.
Damn.
We're so close.
You've done it. The light.
Your gods are dead. Your world is ours.
Alright, so pretty similar. I think it's the exact same intro that I had last time. Who do I want to play as? You know, I haven't played as Nis. Last time I played as Wingrave, and I still stand by him being probably my favorite character to play as. You know what's good. It's hard to say no to Big Armor Man, and I'm probably going to end up playing with Shell, who's probably going to play Nis. Though I'm curious about how everything's been reorganized. So because this is no longer an MMO, things have changed probably dramatically. I don't exactly know like how you unlock new characters, how you get new weapons, how grindy it is. I'm hoping it's considerably less so. I don't hate MMOs. I know the grind is implicit to them. I would much rather have every MMO be a non-grindy, just kind of fun experience with a somewhat a long linear narrative
Can you hear
that
me?
you can bring friends with.
Quickly, follow my voice.
Flask. Flask is this way. There we go.
Skylight needs you. Take the shard.
I remember. I am Harless Wingrave. I was a warrior, an Imperial Archon, charged to carry the light of the Architect into the darkest places.
and to vanquish the forces of evil. How much time has passed? It's all vague. I remember countless enemies, cultists, monsters. Now, it seems that the Empire has been swallowed up by this darkness, that the architects themselves may have fallen. But their light lives on in me, and I will fight to protect those who survived.
Praise the architects. I thought we'd lost you. We need to get you back to Skylight. There's no time to explain. You're trapped within the gloom. But with that shard, you can cut through the shadows. You must move quickly. I will guide you as best I can.
Okay, it's gonna take a little bit for me to remember how to play. Not that I'm too worried about anything. And part of the reason why I'm super glad that they did kind of re-release the game, revive it as a non-MMO. For starters,
For the living!
easy answer is just, I love everything Airship Syndicate makes. They've got just such a lovely... Wait, can I... Oh, I can pause the game and it actually pauses the enemies. That feels good. I'm gonna kill the sound effects a little bit more. I am really not much of a sound effect, like, weapon hit noise kind of guy. I know there's other YouTubers that absolutely...
Greater dangers wait in the shadows ahead. Be quick, but be careful.
Other YouTubers and people and creators,
You're bound to this
just
layer
everyone.
of gloom. You must find the anchor and destroy it.
I know there's all sorts of people that care about sound effects, like they want it to be nice and punchy and, like... Okay. Blocking and hitting enemies charges latent power. Ah, I got a status effect for that. Yeah, I know you can do perfect blocks too, but we'll leave that for later.
You can cut through the barrier. Focus. Channel your power through the shard.
I remember in the original version I had to... Sorry, this is going to be kind of disconnected just because we're going to have a lot of dialogue here. But in the original launch version of this game...
The heart of this shadow. You must move quickly before it senses your presence.
Or pre-launch version, because they brought me in for a preview event last fall. You had to unlock your abilities slowly over time, and that felt really bad because you didn't have access to a whole lot of them. They might still get taken away, I'm not entirely sure.
Gloom shadow. You must destroy it.
But if I get to keep all my stuff, I'm going to be a happy camper. I just absolutely adore the Airship Syndicate. It's the Darksiders visual style that...
It summoned protection. Prepare
that they
yourself.
originally pioneered. I guess I should use my abilities, not that it matters too much.
The anchor is vulnerable. Focus your power through the shard. Destroy it. The path is clear, but this shadow...
Bye. Sorry. I shouldn't have cut her off. I was just like, ooh, I can leave. I guess I would describe the visual style as if, like, World of Warcraft had managed, well, had been allowed to have sequels instead of being, like, constantly shackled to the same engine for forever. That's almost kind of how these games feel, but they've got, like, more painting to them, and it feels very nice.
We have lost so much of our world
At
to the
last.
gloom. We
Come.
still don't know
We
if
have
we can
much to
restore
discuss.
what has been lost.
Eh.
I have need of your services.
My friend, it is so good to see you again. I thought we'd lost you forever.
You're open. I remember a battle.
Don't worry. Your memories will return, in time. That battle took place a year ago, and you were lost in the gloom. We've been trying to bring you back ever since. Let me show you. The Eldrin attack was a distraction. The beacon was always the target. We pushed past them and found the creature who was leading the attack. And you did what needed to be done. You fought to the bitter end. And your sacrifice bought me the time we needed. There's so much we don't yet know about the beacon. But its power protects this city. It destroyed our enemies and stopped the Gloom Tear from expanding. We couldn't close the Gloom Gate. But as long as the beacon remains lit, our enemies can't pass through it. And in the year that followed, we've studied it, learned more about this gloom, learned how to bring you back. We survived thanks to you. But the damage is done. Skylight is safe and the land around it. But beyond the highlands, reality is collapsing into the gloom. There may be other beacons, other places that repel the invaders. The only way to find out is to cut a path through the gloom. And for that, we need Wayfinders. We need you.
Interesting. No voice acting. I'm curious how much of this is and isn't voice acted. Hopefully they go back and actually like add more in, even add lines for the character you're playing as. Maybe. Your sacrifice and that of others bought me the time I needed to light the beacon. The beacon's light holds the gloom at bay. It's the only reason we're alive.
We still don't know. A year ago, the Eldrin attacked us and extinguished the beacon, and it was then that the gloom began to spread. It corrupts and consumes reality. The beacon protects us, but beyond its light, the gloom has swallowed the world, leaving only shadows and chaos. We don't know if anyone else has survived. That's why we need you. You survived in the gloom. You can do it again. With the tools you've been given, you can cut through its shadows. You must be a Wayfinder. We still know so little about the gloom, and so much of the world has been lost to it. We need you to enter the Lost Zones, to find a path through the shadows. You've been through an ordeal. I shouldn't burden you with this now. It's best you see what's left of Skylight and meet other Seekers. You were a Seeker once. You've just forgotten. Before the Gloomfall, we investigated ancient mysteries. Now it's the Seekers who are working to keep Skylight and its people alive.
Where should I begin?
Go to the Great Hall, up above the plaza. Wolf will want to meet you. We'll talk again after you've met with him and Lord Halar.
Okay, so kind of same deal, a lot of the same mechanics. Looks like you might level faster, so let's take a look at what we've got. So we can equip items, different weapons and everything. Accessory set bonuses, yet same stuff. I'm curious about how this has changed. One thing that I don't like about a lot of MMOs is that they're very balanced in a boring way. Yeah, so I don't have any of my stuff. Doesn't look like I have any of the fancy gear. Oh, but you can see all the different like cosmetic sets that you can find over the course of the game. I like that. Let's see. I can change my color though, so if I want to be, oh boy, if I want to be very red. I don't think I do. Let's just be kind of a gold. Is that the primary versus secondary? So I can change the trim on some of these. Blue. Let's see. What color scheme do I want to work with? I mean, this is kind of Wanderbot in a good way, and then we also have custom character dyes. I don't know what the customs are, but at least we've got some colors. And you can also do like weapon transmog. Nice. Mounts. I don't remember mounts in this game. But then again, I don't know. I didn't actually play too much of the original launch version because it straight up didn't work for me. And then my by the time it actually, like, became stable, it was already kind of shut down for the moment. It does look like my abilities are limited now. Looks like there's a lot of stuff that I can't do at the moment. We also have to progress with the story to unlock all of these characters. So it looks like Grendel was added later. Is there anything else? Inventory, quest, discoveries, map, reward tower. Hey. Okay. So I think I might have one key. Yeah, earn keys as you play. You earn EXP for reward towers. With every level up, you earn a key that can be used in either tower to unlock connected rooms. Okay, so this is kind of where we get cosmetic stuff and also how we can make new characters. Since Grendel's new, I might as well start working on grabbing him. But I think I need to get his parts too. And you can also do towers separately. Okay. Now is it here?
I have need of your services.
No. You used to be able to like craft the characters around here, but that might have been moved. The reward tower is actually something I was kind of hoping they wouldn't get rid of over the course of this, just because I actually really liked their original plan for the season pass system. And it looks like they've just kind of changed it as a just means of unlocking new characters and content, which sounds good to me. Like if they want to monetize this later, just having reward towers for like $10 periodically to fund more development, that sounds fine to me.
Our forces are depending on you. Welcome, Wayfinder. You honor us with your presence. I fought the Eldrin during the attack, just as you did. But it was your sacrifice that saved Skylight.
It's all a blur to me. Who are you?
Before the fall, I was an officer of the Avar Imperium. Now I command our forces, such as they are. There are all too many threats. Strikes, breaches. But you'll see for yourself soon enough. We will have much to discuss in the days ahead. And we'll have quarters for you soon enough. Much of Skylight was devastated in the attack. The builders are working as quickly as they can. You have more important work ahead of you. But for now, find Lord Halar outside of the Great Hall. He'll get you ready for the tasks that lie ahead.
I want to talk about more stuff, but we have too much dialogue in the way first.
Wayfinder? The new Wayfinder. Delightful. I am Lord Halar. As you know, my lands and the Dominion itself have been swallowed by the gloom. But even now, especially now, names matter. I lead the Arcanists among the Seekers. By necessity, we have focused our efforts on restoring Skylight. But it is my studies of the gloom that can help you, not my knowledge of arcanic illumination.
Continue, or what can you tell me about the glacier? Sure.
What we know for certain is that the gloom alters flora and fauna, and never for the better. Where it lingers, it can consume entire regions, leaving only shadows in the gloom. What we call lost zones. You were consumed by the gloom, but you survived. Now you have the power to shape it, to some degree. The shard you've been given focuses this gift. Only a Wayfinder can enter a lost zone. But this is just a glimmer of your full potential. If you can enforce your will upon the gloom, perhaps one day we can undo the damage that has been done. But I can only tell you of the gloom. Omen can show you. Return to her, near the Gloom Gate, Wayfinder. She will guide you in the next steps of your journey.
Seems like the intro is still largely the same. I don't remember talking to Wolf, but I probably did talk to him previously. I'd have to go back and check my old footage. Not that I have too much of it.
Wingrave. The gloom is consuming our world. Our beacon holds it at bay, but much was lost before it was lit. Beyond Skylight, you will find breaches where the gloom has ripped away pieces of our world. Using the focusing shard, you can pass through breaches to reach a shadow of what was lost, what we call lost zones. These are unstable and unpredictable, reflecting what was or what might have been. We're running out of time. The gloom is breaking down our defenses, and we don't know how to stop it. We need you to explore the Lost Zones, to find a way to fight the gloom and reclaim our world. We do know the large gate behind me is the key. In theory, you can reach any Lost Zone through this gate. In practice, there are limitations. Usually, you must find and enter a breach directly to access a Lost Zone for the first time. After that, you can access it and any other breach you found through this gate. But you can't just stumble into a breach. You need a connection to the Lost Zone to guide you through it. This might mean finding an object from the zone or experiencing an event tied to it. For now, I have a single connection I can share with you. The Codex Halls of Aurelian. There. Go to the gate, follow the connection I have given you, and return to the gloom. The shard you've been using is an incomplete tool. Find a Codex Ember in the gloom. Then we can transform your focusing shard into a full gloom dagger, allowing you to harness your full potential.
Okay. Wow. They're just giving me all sorts of stuff. I guess it makes sense, though. Now that this isn't an MMO and you don't have to worry about players, like, advancing too quickly, you might as well shower them with awards and whatnot. Awards? Rewards? Like...
This is a lost zone. It's not a perfect replica of the world that was. It's a dream inspired by what was lost. When you return here again, everything, the layout, the creatures within it, may change. This lost zone is tied to Aurelian, a fortress monastery of the Avar Order of the Silver Codex. The Codex monks were conducting arcane research, and we need to know more about them. Aurelian was raised by raiders from the maze years before the Gloomfall. You'll need to establish your own connection to it.
I feel weaker than I was before.
Yes. It was a miracle that we could pull you back to Skylight. But like your memories, some of your skills were lost. Don't worry. It will all come back to you in time. This connection I've provided is temporary and unpredictable. Look for a Codex Ember. With it, you can turn your shard into a full gloom dagger and establish your own connections. I can't guide you when you go deeper. To escape, you'll need to find the heart of this lost zone, the anchor, and destroy it. This weakens the gloom and lets us harvest its energy through your shard. Explore as thoroughly as you can. We need the supplies and knowledge you may find, and exploration may grant you connection to other lost zones. Now go, and good luck.
Okay, what was I going to say? I guess there's like kind of two aspects of this. One of the big ones for me is mostly just I don't think I really like MMORPGs anymore. For the most part. I find them to be kind of uncompelling. There's a couple I'll put up with, but like, it's a good example. I mean, like Final Fantasy XIV and Guild Wars are the only two that I actually still play. I used to play a lot of Warframe back in the day. Loved it. I thought it was really good. But the grind was so bad. And they never made it better. It always got grindier and grindier. Every new feature, every new event, every new thing that they added more and more layers of grind. And it never felt good. And obviously it was there mostly as a form of appeasement to, you know, pull in and keep the interest of their hardcore fans. And, you know, I can't necessarily fault them for that. But it was one of those where it's like, I just wanted to, like, play the game. I didn't want to have to feel like I had a second job.
No fear.
I felt that way about, like, the Destiny seasonal content. That it was like, no, you have to, like, go through all of this effort and time and energy just to experience the, like, snippets of story between major expansions. And if you don't, it's going to be slightly confusing and you're not quite going to know who this character is or what happened or why. And that always kind of sucked a little bit from the perspective of, like, I don't know, it just made for an unsatisfying experience. Oh, did we get a gun? I don't think I can change weapons in the middle of combat, though. I can. We just have gun now. Cool. I'm probably gonna have to play keyboard and mouse though if I'm gonna be using gun. Oh, we might as well mix it up. Yeah, originally, I think they had it that you were, oh. Unfortunately, my controller has like a smidge of stick drift. There we go. My controller has a bit of stick drift that is absolutely going to mess with me a little bit. But that's okay. Yeah, sure, let's play this as a third-person shooter for a little bit. Just so we have a little bit. So E is the melee attack. I don't think it's going to be very useful for what I'm doing here. That's fine. Okay, anything else? Nope, not too much. Where's my head at? Complaining about MMOs, grind, Destiny, seasonal content, and whatnot. Like, it's fun enough playing these games and having tons of things to do. But what I really cared about was just having enough, like, things to play with friends. I didn't really care for the grind ever. That always felt bad to me more than anything else. Okay. It's control if I want to dash. And then I also have some kind of special move. Cool. Is that it? No other enemy? Alright, fair enough. And so, like, not to say that I wasn't excited for when I heard Wayfinder was going to be an MMO, because it's like, well, you know what? No. Airship Syndicate very much knows how to make good games. Let's see how they do with an MMO. And I think it was fine. But there's a gulf. Is it? Nope. Actually, F?
What is this?
There it is.
Something new. Something interesting.
Who's there?
I hear an echo in the darkness. You have promise, yes. But you don't have what I need. Not yet. Go ahead. Run along home. I'll be watching you, Wayfinder.
And yeah, with what they were planning on doing with the season passes, specifically the reward towers, I was actually quite excited to see how this goes. Namely from the perspective of, like, the season passes in this game were originally meant to just, stick around for forever, and you could put points and time into them whenever you wanted to. And you wouldn't have to worry about, like, the season ending and you losing access to stuff. Which, from my perspective, feels great. Oh, we now have 2 vanguards. Interesting. Why do I have so many weapons all of a sudden? Are they going more of a looter-shooter vibe then? Huh. It looks like they're currently the same. But sure, let's go with this. I originally got Epitaph as a, Oh. Wait, I am confused, actually. Why did I get so much? What happened? Not that I'm complaining. Not in the slightest. Let's see. How do I swap characters? Oh, character collection. Oh, so we also have Kairos and Venomous now if I want to play them instead too. I am thankful for that immediate variety though. Oh, we're not to talk to her. Yeah, some of this stuff I had gotten with like the
out into the field, do say hello to my granddaughter for me, would you?
Some of this stuff I had gotten is like, oh, Coral Crawler, housing decoration. What? All right.
Bringing you back was nothing short of a miracle of arcanic engineering.
What was I going to say? I got this stuff as part of like the really expensive versions of the game, and I was wondering what was going to happen to that, and maybe it's just unlocked automatically for me as kind of like a nice skip the grind, at least for the initial version. Who knows though? Maybe it's the same for everybody.
Tell me, how are you feeling? Are your limbs working as you expect them to? Does your body feel reliably solid?
I feel fine. Why do you ask?
As a Wayfinder, you aren't just a creature of flesh and blood. You shaped your body from the gloom, and it's your will that holds it together. It's remarkable. Because of this, You have powers you don't yet understand. Think to your recent battles. Have you seen flares of energy flowing from your fallen enemies?
Yes, actually, I have.
These are echoes, fragments of the spiritual essence of your enemy, traces of who they were. As a Wayfinder, you can fuse the echoes of your enemies into your own form. As you progress, you'll learn how to weave echoes into your weapons and even your relics. This is a crucial tool that can dramatically increase your power. I urge you to experiment with it. The Silver Codex studied ways to manipulate arcane energies. We can use the ember you recovered from Aurelian to create your Gloom Dagger, and to establish your own connection to the ruins. You see, the shard you claimed in the gloom is a rough and imperfect tool. You need to make it a true extension of yourself, a blade that can cut through reality. Use the Echo Matrix to combine the ember and the shard. Visualize the shape of your dagger. You can draw on the threads of the gloom and make your vision real. Try it.
I'm going to get another Vanguard. I'll have to see if I can mush them together or something. Okay, use Echo Matrix, make a Gloom Dagger. Cool.
Excellent, yes. Let me inspect it and make sure your work is complete. I trust your dagger is performing adequately? Perfectly done. Woven from the pure elements of magic and drawn into reality. Now you have what you need to explore lost zones on your own. Let's review that procedure. To reach a lost zone, you need 3 things. A breach that serves as an entrance, a gloom dagger that can cut a path through the shadows, and a connection to the place consumed by the gloom. A connection can take the form of an object, such as the ember now bound to your dagger, or something more abstract, such as a memory or experience. You now have a gloom dagger, and through the ember you have a connection to the Codex halls. So, what is it you are missing, Wayfinder? Have you been listening?
Gloom Breach?
Yes, just so. You need to find the point at which this area collapsed. You must search the Highlands for a sheet of gloom energy, a hole in the world. Once you've found it, use your dagger to carve a path. Explore what lies beyond, and destroy the anchor of that shadow. Thereafter, you will be able to reach Aurelian through the Gloom Gate here.
There you are. Your gloom dagger is connected to the beacon of Skylight. Aside from being an invaluable tool for exploring the gloom, it also allows us to communicate through the link.
Heard another voice in Aurelian. Was that you?
A voice in the gloom? No, that wasn't me. I warned you that the connection would be unstable. Remain alert, but I'm sure it was just some manifestation of the chaos.
Let's see, these daggers in the shard, where did they come from?
Lord Halar and I spent much of this last year refining the daggers as we sought to retrieve you from the gloom. As for the shards, that's a tale for another time. But now, I need you to return to the Codex halls. We need to know more about the work of the Silver Codex. I always thought they were peaceful, devoted sages. Now, I'm not so sure. Our work suggests they were experimenting with a sinister force that may have been the gloom, decades before the Gloomfall. This work could help us push back the gloom, or reconnect our world. As Lord Halar has told you, you must first find the breach tied to the Codex halls out in the wider world. And that means leaving the safety of Skylight. Before you leave Skylight, I need you to bind your dagger to the signal fires here. This will strengthen your connection to the beacon and help you move quickly across the region. Once that's done, take the lift down to the Highlands and find Warden Haas. She's in charge of our defenses. I will offer guidance when I can.
Okay, guess I already have that one. So we've been picking up a bunch of things. Let's see. So those are some echoes. Bunch of skins for characters. I'm sure, oh yeah. I'm sure a lot of this stuff was cosmetics that I maybe bought? I'm not sure. I don't remember having the Shadow Nation stuff. There is a fruit fly that is buzzing my microphone for some reason, and that's slightly annoying. So what are these? Resonance caches. Small amount of resonance for Wayfinders. Ah, I see. So I can use these to gain a bunch of experience. I think I'll save that for other characters that I'm going to be using later. I have Grendel's Calling. A number of these had been locked off previously, and so I was curious about them. We might as well also check out the crafting row and a handful of other stuff as we go by. Anything here? No. Okay, this is not... I guess this is kind of where we want to go. Right. And that's the craftsman's area.
Good. The signal fires are tied to the beacon. It's this network of arcane energies that holds back the gloom.
Have you inquiries about a relic?
Oh, dang. I don't think I'd seen his final character model. This is cool looking. I knew he was a weird robot, but all the versions I ever played, he was like an incomplete character model.
You are our weapon, forged to fight the gloom.
So you can awaken weapons. Once a weapon's been acquired, you can awaken it by bringing rare materials to the arsenal. Navigating the weapon class tabs to find the weapon you'd like to awaken. Every time you awaken it, cost for subsequent awakenings increases. Let's see. So extra stats, extra capacity, extra slots. So what do I want? What do I need if I... Oh boy, okay, that's gonna take some time we don't have. Interesting. Well, one way or another, we most assuredly do not have any of those. And we also don't have enough money for those other things, but that's fine. I don't think we need to stick around for the moment. Let's just continue on. I'm just always curious, you know, how do you
Even the
adapt?
gloom scatters before their light.
How do you adapt an MMO into being a single-player game? In my opinion, it should be reasonably easy, apart from, you know, converting it away from server architecture. But, like, from a gameplay perspective, I don't think you need to change too much. Just nix the grind, question mark. I know this is very much the,
Well
just
done.
the, like...
Now, take the Great Lift to the Highlands and find Warden Haas.
I realize I'm very much being dismissive of how hard it is to do these things. I'm sure Airship Syndicate has been absolutely just crushing it behind the scenes, making all of this work.
Keep to the hills. In the maze, treading low ground was oft an invitation to death. These highlands of yours are much the same.
He's cool looking. I don't think I have anything to do with him yet, though. Which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, I'm definitely being dismissive. Game design and like game development is intensely hard and time consuming and problematic, and I'm sure this is going to have all sorts of spaghetti code. That was a whistle. All sorts of spaghetti code behind the scenes, keeping it running. But knowing the fact that, well, I mean, seeing that they've managed to reconfigure an entire MMO to run on a player's machine instead of having to rely on centralized servers or anything like that, is actually something I wish more MMOs would do.
Warden Haas is stationed in Lower Skylight and knows the Highlands well. She'll know the location of the breach you're looking for.
Like, I'm a huge fan of Guild Wars 1 and 2, and I'm always afraid of the day that NCSoft decides to pull the plug on one or either, just because, like, I don't want those games to go away, but they will eventually. And I would love to see something like this where they're just like, yep, all right, now it's just a standalone game. Have fun.
Wayfinder. Well met, Wayfinder. Welcome back to the world. What's left of it. It's an ugly business. We're fighting the Shrikes for resources. And out beyond, you've got feral beasts and gloom-spawned monsters.
What's a Shrike?
You'll find out soon enough, I fear. Brigands and looters. Some of them half feral from drinking God's blood and other madness. Dangerous is what they are. But what's your business here?
Need to enter the Codex halls.
Looking for the breach. I'm no Wayfinder, but I know it. Head out past the foundry and through the ruined gate walls. Once you get to the swamp, look for the large gnarled tree and weathered steps. Be sure to bind your dagger to the signal fire here. You'll find them across the highlands. Never miss an opportunity to forge a connection.
Why are the signal fires important?
Again, I'm no Wayfinder. I've heard they're connected to the beacon, and each connection strengthens its light. As a Wayfinder, you can instantly move between the fires. You'll find it a useful tool.
Hey.
On your way then. But we could use another blade out here. These gloom-touch beasts get more dangerous every day. And the shrikes are even worse. Skylight needs supplies, and it's getting harder and harder to find them. I know you've got your mission, but if you can kill a worm or scare off some shrikes, we need the help.
As a Wayfinder, you alone can chart a path through the gloom. But you possess powers and skills beyond those of the Watchers and Rangers. And we must all stand together if any of us are to survive. Many will ask for your help, and I hope you will assist those in need. But it's up to you to prioritize those requests, and to use your time wisely. Right now, I need you to return to the Codex halls and get to the bottom of a mystery. We'll discuss it further once you're inside the ruins.
Well met.
Our hero returns from the gloom. Perchance have you visited the lower skylight during your labors as of yet? If not, I feel that I should forewarn you. About what? This part of the city is overrun with bandits, shrikes they're called. When I was in the Imperial Army, working with common thieves and bandits would have been unacceptable. However, in the days following the fall, we accepted whatever aid we could find. The Shrike Syndicate burned any allyship with Skylight when they betrayed us and seized the mines. But until recently, they've at least refrained from murdering travelers in the streets. Now they've cut us off from Lower Skylight entirely and have begun stripping the city of everything that isn't nailed down. We need those supplies, the Watchers, the Seekers, even Lord Halar. His royal pretension himself cannot survive without them. You're more than likely to be surrounded down there, but I will need you to thin out that scum congregating below. If we're lucky, maybe you can even steal some of our stolen supplies back. So the one thing about this, since this is not an MMO anymore, we don't have any jobs yet, is they could actually have some of these things change permanently. It's unlikely that they're going to put the time and effort in compared to a lot of other stuff, but like, it actually would be quite satisfying. If they were to actually make it where you could reconquer parts of the city, for example, and say like, hey, yeah, we're going to like reestablish people down here. We're going to build some walls. Give me some light town building elements. It's not necessary, and I'd hardly consider that to be like their biggest concern. But
just when I was getting bored.
One thing I always am a little frustrated by with MMOs is they rarely have like a tangible improvement of the conditions. Like, the world does not change. It can't. Because if it changes too much, then, you know, any new player that's showing up after the fact is going to have a bad experience. But with a single player game, you can do that as much as you want, apart from, you know, it takes time and energy and effort. And so I'd actually love to see it if it's one of those where, like, especially this area where eventually it's going to become probably super easy and not at all challenging for me to explore or fight through. And, you know, having that actually just turn into... Let's see, having that turn into, you know, a meaningful town zone. Do we want judgment? Do bonus damage? Sure. I'll go for this one. I might as well also mention you can play this with friends. I haven't looked into how the multiplayer works. Plus party members. So you can just invite friends off of Steam if you want to. I'm just going to be playing solo for today, but yeah, currently just has 4-player multiplayer. I don't know how like the netcode works with that. I'm assuming it's probably fine. Oop, hello. Where'd you come from? Probably spawned in. Might as well just wreck them. The thing is, Windgrave has a lot of self-healing, so I don't need to try very hard at avoiding enemies. I can just kind of pummel my way through. But I know it's kind of meaningless. Oop. That's my computer thing, not the game. It's been having some kind of like... Oop. Or is it? Why were you doing that? There we go. Mess them up. Okay, so there might be still a couple of foibles. And again, it's hard to be kind of annoyed by like little bits like the enemy scooting back endlessly. Compared to where the netcode was at like previously, this is pristine. And probably just like weird bugs or whatever. But for them to have managed to pull this off in what? 6 months is frankly impressive. And I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes in the next 6. I believe the plan is... I believe the plan is to go early, or get out of early access and go 1.0 sometime in the next couple of months. Did they actually go away? Yeah, it looks like they might not be respawning at the moment. They'll probably respawn when I leave the area or whatnot. But I might as well make the most of this and look around for a little while longer. Just because I was asked to go grab supplies. Let's see, what else was I gonna say? I don't know, just kind of alternating between, you know, being curious about what has changed, and then also is still stuck on the point of like, I wish every MMO actually was just a co-op experience to play with friends. That many of them should very much just ditch the live service model entirely. I don't think it actually helps to make their games better. Often makes their games worse. Like I said, I'll put up with it for like Final Fantasy XIV just because it's one of the most long-running stories. Stories? Yeah, stories. In gaming, pretty much ever made. And as such, it's managed to cover a lot of ground, narratively and geographically, as far as the game is concerned.
Before you enter, bind your blade to the signal fire nearby. This way you can easily return, should you need to. A previous expedition discovered unnatural deadly spiders in the shadows of Aurelian. Lord Halar believes these aren't spontaneous creations of the gloom. They're tied to the Silver Codex's work. Did the Codex somehow harness the gloom decades before the fall and use it to cause mutations? We need answers. Search for spiders and see what you can find.
How'd you learn about these spiders?
You aren't the only Wayfinder. You'll meet the others eventually. Now go. There's work to be done.
I saw what looked to be a dynamic event on the ground. We might as well go pop that for a moment, just because why not? Anything that gives me sweet rewards right about now is nice. I think it's that like glowy thing in the background. And also, character, let's see. Yeah, we have echoes that we can equip. Abilities we've already grabbed. Echoes, here we go. Okay, echoes menu. So we can grab some of these. Now, they should be color-coded based on stats. Looks like they are. And then there's also cost. So for example, we have a limited amount of capacity, 12. So the Goblin Hacker versus the Blue Goblin Hacker is going to be better than the green one. And I'm looking for stuff largely weapon power and break power. Break power is what stuns enemies. Now we can also do Echo Fusion, but we don't have enough dust. But I can go in here and convert this one to dust. There we go. We'll leave it for later. So what else do we have? Deadeye Shrike. Oh yeah, this thing. Oh, it's still level 1, of course. Well, I guess I'll just grab that for the time being. It's going to take me a while before I actually, like, unlock everything and get up. But I do like the stat customization. It feels good. I'm hoping there's some more, like, unique abilities, like, mixed in later on down the line. But it is difficult to escape, MMO design. Like, no matter what, these were originally designed so that you couldn't, like, tweak your stats too much to become overpowered. Wait, can I just horse whenever? Okay, the meteor... Okay, so this seems to still have kind of the time limit that it did. Okay. Missed him, that's fine. These weird deer things. Like, their poor programming can't really cope with the fact that I'm just having a throwdown around here. Oh no, I think they're just dead. Dang. This is considerably easier. I think it's because the original version of this was designed so that you would have random people come to help you. And so it was possibly overfitted for that purpose.
For the Empire.
Oops. I think I killed it. I mean, to be fair, doing spectator sports in the middle of, like, a weird magical apocalypse is probably a bad idea. I'm assuming those deer creatures probably just breed like crazy, and that's why we don't have to worry about, or that's why their population hasn't dropped yet, despite everything going on. Or they just really want to watch me do things. I'm not sure. Where's the... There you are. See? They're back. Unfortunately, I have to hit this meteorite, and auto-targeting does not bring me towards it. Hello. You look bad. The prophecy has arrived. Guess I might as well taunt him. If I taunt him, I heal. Now, do I have to actually be in range of the thing? It doesn't seem like I have to be that close. The big fear is, if I go too far away, will the event end? And I lose my ability to complete it. Well, looks like we're fine. And we get some goodies for it, including a tavern stool. Sure, why not? Alright, is there anything else? It's showing me an icon on the mini-map, but it looks like we're in the clear. We did get some goodies, though. Pair of Band of Courages. Let's see. How about cycle info? I see. So they give ability power, max health, and weapon power, max health. Cannot equip more than one of the same. That's a shame. I do like the fact that I can just mark things for selling. That's nice. It's going to save me some time. Let's see. So where are we going? So we can do map viewer. Oh, if I cannot travel. I see. There's also 10 epic chests to find. And I think that's a timer for, like, dynamic events. Oh, that's neat. That actually will just tell me right now. How would I describe it? As a kid, I always wanted to play dot hack. I thought the games were really cool, but I could never get into them just because
Gather your strength.
didn't have the funds.
My light grows
I had other games I wanted to play, Tales of Symphonia, Final Fantasy, whatnot. But I always wanted to play the dot hack games. I loved the idea of like really cool in-depth MMOs and whatnot. And I still do, but I find a lot of them are just kind of designed to keep you there for forever, rather than like to give you ample reasons to stick around. I like the idea of a game that has all of the trappings of an MMO, the dynamic events, the world to explore, the grind, but keeping it entirely optional. You know, do you want to just power through the game and skip all that optional content? You know, pick one character, one weapon, and just cruise with that? Be my guest. And, you know, for me, is there a way I can leave like a marker? Oh, set map marker. Oh, place marker. Okay, let's just go this direction. I might as well grab as all of those goodies. Oops. Not goodies, the fast travel points while we run around. And I can go do a dungeon as well. Let's see. Nah, I don't need to stick around and fight those. Probably up top. Oh. It will not let me. Well, I'm in combat. Presumably. Yep, there we go. The idea of this giant armored dude climbing a dinky ladder like that seems extraordinarily unsafe, but hey, whatever. Okay. And we do have another, like, meteor event. I think I'm gonna skip that one, though. Because, yeah, I could do it. It would probably get me all sorts of resources, but we've done it before, and no reason for me to do so at the moment. But, so... let's see, power range. Oh, I'm at 403. I think I'm good. Enter the gloom. I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes, especially if they kind of mix the single player / like co-op needs of a strong linear narrative and like organized content.
Crystalline webs. Shatter any that you find. Lord Halar can analyze the residue.
With pseudo MMO content designed kind of to give me more to do than just like finish the story. I'm thinking I guess I'm thinking of like not Gunfire Reborn. I'm thinking of like how a lot of modern action RPGs have been doing it. I know Diablo 3, 4, and like Path of Exile are MMOs in their own right at this point, and I shouldn't consider them as anything otherwise. But I find that format to be at least halfway compelling. You know, here's a game that you love that's incredibly well made, that has like enjoyable mechanics, co-op, and things to do. And yeah, a linear story, but once you've completed that story, we still have more for you to do, so you're still able to keep playing long after. Oh, Remnant from the Ashes. Not exactly in the same vein, but that was one of those games that has tons of things to do if you want to keep playing. You know, the whole world is... I really like these constellation patterns on the ground. I think I said that when I first saw them too, but that is yet to change. It was this. Line all the orbs to open the way. Oh, I see. Line how? Oh. Put them in their dedicated ring. And it probably doesn't have to be exact. I'm just going to assume that's good enough. Yep, looks like we're fine. I'll also open up one of these. Oh, we did get it. So we get a Typhoon, too. Dang. Previously, you had to grind like a lot for those. And now it's just available? I know some people are going to be mad that this is no longer an MMO. But like, from my perspective, I'm immediately being... I don't want to say met. Everything that I did not like about Wayfinder, or at least was not keen on, is immediately just being fixed as I play. Or was fixed by this. Because yeah, the grind is gone. The server netcode isn't a problem because it's all hosted on my own machine. Is this? I have no idea. Maybe a warp point. The loot distribution. You know, previously you had to work to get all these weapons. Admittedly, I think you could just buy the initial starting weapons for like 2,000. But the fact that I just open up one of those and get a 2,000 gold starter weapon that I would have had to otherwise grind for. Is super nice. I forgot how to dodge for a second, and that's slightly embarrassing. Yeah, to the point where I'm actually very much looking forward to playing this with Shell later at some point, just so that we can actually kind of have a good, I'm going to say a cozy co-op game to play together that isn't like too straining. I do know some of the later boss fights do get kind of stressful, but kind of the simulated essence of playing an MMO without all of the work involved. Because I'd buy the heck out of a bunch of like MMO lights that are actively like trying to kind of do the games as a service model without any of the downsides of it. You know, periodically they come back and it's like, hey, new DLC just dropped. We added like a dungeon and a new character and some story stuff, and you know, just go have fun with it. Because I think I'd like to get invested in those games, especially games where, you know, when the developers are just done, can't afford to develop it any further or any number of things like that. I still have it and I can still keep playing it, it just won't get any more. Good example of this would be like, I don't know, Binding of Isaac? Question mark? Like that game kept getting big updates constantly. And so there's kind of that feeling of like, yeah, this kind of reminds me of live service, but without any of those like extreme drawbacks. Where the heck is this chest? Oh, it's in here. Let's see. Because earlier I'd made a comment specifically about how, like, yeah, Wayfinder kind of visually makes me think of World of Warcraft if World of Warcraft had been allowed to develop further as a series, rather than being one game that keeps getting more and more stuff tacked onto it. And admittedly, that's kind of what I'm advocating for here to a lesser degree, but it's kind of one of those where I think that game would have been much better if they had just stopped after Wrath of the Lich King and then had Cataclysm be World of Warcraft 2. Or, yeah, it was Cataclysm, then Pandaria. Yeah, no, I'm going to stand by that. You know, if they had every 3 expansions said, all right, time to have a new iteration of this game. We're going to, you know, fix up the overall gameplay, maybe really mix it up, do some interesting things. Why are you still here? Eventually modernize it so it's more of action combat. Really, literally this combat. And I still would love to see an MMO. Oh boy, that hurt. I guess I need to quaff potions occasionally. How fast is the cooldown on that Healy swing? It's real quick. Okay, can I get back up? And the other thing I didn't really like get too much into compliments wise is there's actually difficulty settings now. So if you want to play this on a harder difficulty, you can. I'm not going to, but I think even just having the idea of difficulty settings, that's not something you can well, it is something you can do in an MMO. But you have to do it kind of slowly over time. Imperial Vanguard base. Wait. That actually has stats attached to it? Alright. You know, difficulty has to be something that you grind for as well. You can't just be like, nope, give me the hard mode right from the get-go. Let's not be there. And maybe I'm singing like too many praises and that, you know, other people are going to disagree with me. But I think it's neat how much this has changed for the better. And maybe it's one of those that like...
Now, return to Lord Halar so we can analyze the residue of the webs.
That classic, like, won a route slightly for the underdog, you know, the had a rough launch and came back to, like, really redeem whatever it was. Very much in the same way of, you know, Final Fantasy XIV and whatnot. But then also combine that with, I desperately want this to be a success story to some degree, so that other game developers follow suit. Kind of in the same vein recently, there was NCSoft officially allowed City of Heroes private servers. Just said, sure, you are actually just allowed to do this now. And I don't think they would let everybody do that for their modern MMOs. You know, I'm sure they would pitch a fit if somebody tried to do a private server for like Guild Wars or I don't know, other NCSoft MMOs at the moment. I'm sure they have plenty. Am I just done? No, of course I'm not done. This is just a side path. But the idea of like companies either giving like an official having officially sanctioned private servers after an MMO has after an MMO has like reached the end of its lifespan. Or alternatively, having them
Guide my blade.
have like a single player only version. In my opinion, I'd actually say what they should do is just both.
Victory is ours.
I need to like write this up as like a full-on essay or something now that I've played this and I'm having a good time with it. But like, I would pay, you know, full price for full price. I would pay an extra amount to get an MMO that I love preserved as like a co-op variant after it's done. You know, maybe let me save my character progress and history or something somehow. You know, we might as well actually go down there. When I did that preview weekend, I was the first person to find a bug where I hopped out of that and said, you know, no, I don't want to go into this pit trap. It looks dangerous down there. And it closed on me. They hadn't planned on it, so I had those grates. Oh, I guess they just stayed down now. But I had them closed up on me, so I couldn't move, and I was like bifurcated by, you know, trapdoor. Oops. Clearly they fixed it, but I'm proud of that bug because it was baffling at the time. Okay, anything else? I think that's just how we get back. And then, was this where the trapdoor was? Yeah. Looks like the end of the dungeon. But, oh, what's a good example? Terra. Terra's a great example of an MMO that went away. I think it still exists on consoles, interestingly enough. But I I know there are private servers for it. Some people manage to preserve them, or like preserve the game with private servers. And who knows, maybe someday I will actually play those. But I would vastly prefer paying a developer, you know, the company that made the game, for, you know, one, give me a kind of like a co-op with friends version. Two, let me spend, you know, make it ridiculous or something if they really have to charge an arm and leg for it. But I'd pay like $200 for the ability to host my own Terra server, for example. I would love to be able to do that, purely from the perspective of like, it would be really cool to kind of set like, how grindy is it? What is the leveling curve? How good are the loot drops? You know, do we kind of do events? I think Path of Exile kind of lets you do this. You can have your own private leagues, but it's still through their server architecture and whatnot. But like, it would be nothing short of fantastic if I could just start doing that regularly with most MMO-y things. I'm thinking like Fallout 76. I like Fallout 76 well enough. I think it's a fine game-ish. But I'm never going to play it in its current form because I'd just much rather host my own server, put some mods on, tweak it to high heaven so it's actually like a really intense like settlement builder where you actually have to trade with other people and like really work together to build it up, or who knows what. But because it's kind of this MMO light, it is an MMORPG. On their own server architecture, it's not as dynamic, it's not as flexible, and I think that makes it far less appealing. Unless they did add mods. I know they had kind of the like, well, you can kind of be on your own private server, but only if you pay the subscription fee, and I'm just like, don't feel like that. I would rather spend more upfront to have the thing permanently than to spend less drip fed over time. Like, I haven't, let's just go find some gates. I don't feel like doing any plot for a moment. Place a marker there. Might as well just grab as many of these fast travel gates as I can, just for my own convenience later. We also do have a number of events and some other things that I can do. Oops. I wish the place marker button was... Oh, I can only have one? Well, that's unfortunate. Not that big of a deal. I was just hoping I could put a bunch of markers down real quick and just go bingo, bango, bongo, grab them all. What was I going to say? I haven't paid for a streaming service in a year now. Whenever the writers and actors strikes were going on, I went cold turkey on streaming services, and I'm not liable to go back ever. I think there's, like, okay, I might sub for, like, a little bit so I can watch Scavenger's Reign or something. Just because who knows if we're going to get a physical version of that. I sincerely hope we do, but... For the most part, yeah, I've just skipped out on, you know, I'm not subbed to... Well, technically I got Disney Plus through my internet provider, but I don't use it, so it kind of feels moot. Oh, there's a bunch of enemies probably below me. What is this thing? I guess I can hit it. I don't know. I seem to be under-leveled for this area. I'm curious if that messes with the leveling curve. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Alright. You need to die. So is that my level bar? No, it's not. Oh. Maybe I should leave him alone for a bit. Or I should fight him. Get back here, you. Why is he going further now? Why would you do that? Dude just wanted to harass me, I guess. think I managed to block that? Okay, and then there's a bird. Okay, messed him up. The bird from behind isn't really much of a concern. I'm noticing I'm losing an amount of my lock-on. Okay, that hurt a bit. Still, we killed him. I'm proud of that. We didn't get any cool loot off of it, but that's fine. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, I haven't actually grabbed the marker in there. Should probably go grab that before I go too far away. What was I gonna say? I don't know. I think I've kind of touched upon this topic enough. I love the idea of MMOs. I don't like the execution of MMOs. And so to have an MMO say, yeah, okay, being an MMO didn't work, let's be a just co-op game, feels good to me. And I sincerely hope this works out for them. One, just because I would hate to see, I would hate to see all this potential consistently kind of lost. I loved Vigil as a company. They made some really good games. I mean, really, just Darksiders 1 and 2 were incredible. And so it's one of those where, like, I'm always rooting for this company to keep succeeding and growing, because it feels like it's only a matter of time before they start, like, really pumping out some true bangers. And I'd hate to see that, like, the current industry turmoil especially, cut that short. But then, yeah, once again, I hope this is an example for other MMOs, you know, to say, hey, you know, our subscriber base is dwindling. Let's just keep our game going for another couple of years. Re-release it as a not MMO. Let players choose their difficulty settings. Heck, even maybe let them change, like, their preferences for grind and everything. Give them more control. Maybe let them use mods. Who knows? Okay, looks like that's it for this area. Still haven't found the super fancy chests in each of these zones, but that's fine. And then when the game is well and truly done, well, it's still preserved as a fully playable. Oh, right, we haven't tried this yet. I have a horse. Can I attack? I can attack, but the horse goes away. That's fine. Hopefully there's other mounts to find as well. But yeah, the game will still be preserved as something that can be played. That it's not just... I don't feel like doing this. It's not just going to be lost to time and memory for forever. Every once in a while, every couple of years, I get the intense desire to go back and play WildStar. And I can't, because WildStar is gone and does not exist anymore. Some people are trying to make a private server, and, you know, very much looking forward to that. You're big. I don't know, do we want to fight the mean old bear? It will probably kick the shit out of me. Yeah, I shouldn't. Question, can I hop on the horse in the middle of combat? I can. Oh, that feels good. Just to say, yep, this ain't working for me. Let me see.
Gather your strength.
Do be careful. It's dangerous in the field.
I think this is supposed to be Lord Halar's daughter. Did that bear keep chasing me? A bear kept chasing me. Hello, bear. I don't think this is the same bear, though. I think this one I can actually hurt. And the other one I probably could have hurt, too, but it would have taken some time and effort and energy that I don't feel like spending right now. Not as I'm ending a video. So, I guess I might as well say as part of this that WildStar Echoes is available now in early access, so if you want to pick it up and play it, it's on PC. It's coming to consoles later, but legitimately quite good. They fixed a lot of problems and made the game seriously Bear Echo straight for that. Failed? No, I haven't failed. Rude. Oh, the sphere remains active. It was the event. Like, I have all sorts of stuff that I can do. Yeah, I should probably grab my abilities, too. That is just a cool pose going on right there. then eventually we're going to be able to actually put, like, upgrade points into these. Oh, looks like we can just do it right now. Which of these do I want? Hits against judged enemies, does additional break damage, increased damage reduction while using it by 25%. Damage and healing, yeah. I just love being heal man too much. Do we have any accessories? We do, because we want to swap this one out. It's not very good. We also have set bonuses, but I think we are missing a lot of the things. There's also the Silver Shrike. I think it's worse, though. Because I think it's just full common. That just gives me a bunch of physical defense, though. This is ability power and break power. I don't know, man. Yeah, let's do it. We want ability power for healing. Now, armor set. So, interesting. We have aesthetic pieces. So do we actually find higher tier versions of the cosmetic gear as well? Huh. And they give us various stats. Probably. Hide style customization. Show style custom. What? Oh, that's probably I can go in here so I can change my skins? No, but I can potentially change my mount at some point. Okay. Yeah, this is very cool. Ah, so this is where I can change what my character looks like. So we don't even have to have a helmet on if we want to. I can be clean shaven and that feels like a sin. I do kind of like the mutton chops going on, but personally, I'm a put me in a helmet kind of guy. So yeah, I don't have to limit myself to the gear that I found. The cosmetics come straight out of the gate. I like that. I mean, I've been saying that this entire video. Just all of these are a lot of highly positive changes that I'm super excited to see where they go, and looking forward to playing more when I get there. Ooh, he's got the fur ruff. It needs to be more, though. I think I'll stick to this one. It's got kind of that nice central plating. Anyway, I guess the one thing I want to check is what is the base price for Wayfinder? It was $30 previously, and I'm hoping it still is. It is... Oh, it's not available to buy yet, I think. I think Echo's... Yeah, the preview event is going on. So when is it actually available? So Wayfinder Echoes is going to be available starting on June 11th. So if you want to pick this up and play it, you can pick it up and... Well, if you already own the game, you can pick it up and play it now. But otherwise, if you want to pick it up and play it, you're going to have to wait a week from now, which I think is fine. Lets people get all of the bugs out. I think progress will carry over. It's still in early access, bound to be bugs and issues. No save data will carry over from last week's beta, but I believe everything else should carry over. Maybe. And if you want to see all of the various things... cool. So Founders Coins will be awarded to players according to the total lifetime amount of rune silver they had in their previous account. That was the meta currency. So I'll have to see what Founder Coins are used for. All content is now unlocked in-game via loot and rewards. Monetization's been removed. Completing quests and objectives grants keys, which can be used to unlock rewards. Right, we didn't even look at the reward tower. That's one other thing that I might as well take a peek at before we go. Because I think I have at least I have a key. Oh boy. Let's see. But so, housing kits, imbuement packs, loading art. Interesting. I think they simplified the tower too. It's much smaller. It used to be fairly big, but now it's 5 floors. And like, okay, never mind. This is substantial. Let's see. Which one gets me the most? I guess all of them, none of them. It doesn't really matter. So, I guess with all of this said, if you like this video in any way, shape, or form, leave me a like. It helps more than you know. And if you want to see more rad new games every single day, then hit subscribe because I got tons to check out and show off. And I'll probably be back for more of this. Maybe not immediately, but once it launches on... Probably once it launches on consoles as well. So I can play this with Shell. And we can actually have some fun together as a team. Instead of me just playing alone. Probably. Oh, that bear is... a little high level for me right now, and that's fine. Anyway, I guess with all of that said, let's see, did I do my usual outro? I have no idea. Like, comment, subscribe. You guys know the drill. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.